everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, I would like to say that we have been late the last couple of weeks. However, we're as close to on time as we can get today. So let's give us a round of applause for that. We're only 10 minutes late. But anyway, we be having our own conversations, and we get lost in the sauce. But welcome to this week's episode. I don't even know what we're calling this, but this is going to be, your time with the DCityLife sisters. I'm Demita.
And I'm Faith. Or I'll also go like, yes, I'm a unicorn.
Yes, we need to start saying that. And I'm glad you said that because I'm sorry to cut you off, but check in the description below. Follow us on our other social medias, and definitely follow Yes, I Am a Unicorn. All right, over to you, sis.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that same thing, so that's fine. Yes, I'm a unicorn 24/7 on most platforms like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, which we're gonna cover TikTok too, my friends. Matter of fact, I might actually bring that up first, but
yeah, because I don't know the whole thing about it. I just saw the headline.
Let's read together because that's also where I am with this. Like, I didn't see. All I know is that for a while we've been hearing these rumors, or if you want to call them rumors, we've been hearing news about how they want to ban TikTok, and I don't even know what that means really, because I don't even know what that means. Like, I assume that it meant they don't want us to use TikTok. As we know, TikTok, which was formerly called Musical.ly. I remember when it was Musical.ly because I was like, what is this? But
it was called that. I forgot about that.
And then it kind of riffed off of Vine. Remember Vine?
Yeah, do it for the Vine.
Do it for the Vine. That show's so funny. But the point is this. Right? I always have that show in my head, free. I was like, no. This is so funny. Anyway, anybody doesn't know who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna do it. But do it for the Vine. No, I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the Vine. No, I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the Vine. Yo, that show is hilarious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can probably just Google "Do It for the Vine" and you can find that video. That girl is probably like 20 years old now.
Right.
But anyway, my point is when people say ban, I wasn't sure what that meant because it's not like a banned book that you probably won't find in a Barnes and Noble or whatever, right? It's like it's not like that. It's an app. So even where you could ban an app, I just don't know what that looks like. Like
have we ever had an app banned?
I'm sure there has to be like
I guess it's just
inappropriate something that somebody had to get banned or that won't get picked up. But because TikTok is so popular, I just don't feel like it would be that easy because you're gonna have multiple people offending. Like,
but what if you just can't gain access to it?
My thing is, I understand also the sentiments behind it, which is like, yeah, what if you can't gain access to it?
It would just be like, I can't get to the site even if you wanted to.
They can do that in certain places, I guess. But like America, I suppose they can figure out how to do that.
Because that's the only way you can ban it is if you control the access. Because
people are going to find a way.
Still going to do it.
People are going to find a way, and there's so much demand because the comfort level. And if anything, this is just free publicity for them. I feel like more people are probably signing up and figuring out, like, well, what is TikTok if they're trying to ban it? I don't think this is working in the way that they thought it would, but it doesn't matter because it's not even banned anywhere except Montana right now. So basically,
I was like, why did they pick Montana? But
I don't know. Montana obviously was just the first one to be like, we're following through. And so here's what it looks like. They're actually, this man right here, Governor Greg Gianforte, signed a law. This is the actual banning of TikTok. This is what it looks like, everybody. So now he signed that piece of paper, and he probably got grandchildren that be on TikTok. I don't know that for sure, but he said it would protect Montana.
It's highly likely.
Data and sensitive personal information. Now, I do understand the reasoning because what I've heard in the news is that it's from China, like the software is from China, or you know what I'm saying. The platform is not based. It's
In
based
the
in
US.
China, and they're saying that they're taking people's information. And the point is that like all of these platforms are taking our information, but the fact that it's China, it's a problem. My thing though is that I don't even really know for sure who owns other platforms that I'm on, like LinkedIn. Like, I mean, I'm sure I could look it up.
Mhm.
It's just like I never really looked at like the affiliation of some of the apps that I have on my phone. So it's like LinkedIn, Pinterest, like we all know about like Facebook and Instagram, but like it's a whole bunch of stuff I
I
be
mean, yeah, you're right. We don't
that
really
like who
know.
on Snapchat? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's not something that people like. Some people probably look it up before they download it, but most people don't. Most people just be like, "Hey, you got this app? Yeah, go ahead and download this."
Most
And
of
next
us
thing you know,
don't.
you have it. But like you're right, like a lot of stuff is taking our information. Like you can Google something on one fucking device, and you can start getting ads on all your connected devices. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or whatever
Okay.
you Google.
And here's the thing: a spokesperson for the popular Chinese-owned app responded by accusing Gianforte, the governor of Montana, of signing a bill that infringes on the First Amendment rights of the people of Montana by unlawfully banning TikTok, a platform that empowers hundreds of thousands of people across the state. Now, I don't know if you've noticed these commercials that now come on in between, like YouTube, videos that I watch, but it's these people, like these small town Americans who came up via TikTok. Like this one lady who makes soap, and she was like, "Oh, my skin used to itch, and now I make goat milk soap, and I've been doing well by using TikTok." This is one man who like teaches young children how to read, and it's just like, if not for TikTok. And it's like they're trying to paint this American dream picture. I'm trying to figure out, are they doing that in all the countries or is it just America? Because
That's a question.
like it's so funny because it's like they're trying to show like our values and stuff like that, like, oh, TikTok promotes whatever values. Now I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're taking our information, and I don't really know what they're doing with it. I mean, I just can't be afraid of that because that's not how I'm living my life. Okay. There's a lot of people taking information, and it's so much that I have so much information out there that I can't really control somebody from getting
Word.
something if they really wanted to get it. You know what I mean? But it's funny to me. So the one thing I want to point out is that the ban would impose fines of $10,000 per day on any mobile store making the app available. But
So if somebody downloads it,
no,
the
individual TikTok users are not subject to the fines.
so it's people who okay.
It imposes
Oh, yeah.
$10,000 a day fine on any mobile store. So I guess like Google App Store, or not, sorry, Google Play, or the app, like
Mm-hmm.
Apple App Store or whatever. And then I think Amazon sells apps too. Like whatever kind of phone you got, Samsung,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. The
That's
fine
wild
is going to
though.
be $10,000 per day to any of those stores making the app available. And on TikTok itself, if it operates the app within the state. So the fine is going to be on TikTok, I suppose, both, because it says $10,000 per day on any mobile store and on TikTok itself if it operates the app within the state, because it's like you're banned here, you can't be here. But
Okay, so I got so many questions.
but you can't find somebody when they don't live there. That's
My
ridiculous.
main
It's just like,
question though is
I'm gonna
like,
find Vladimir Putin for what he's doing to the Ukrainians. It's just
I
like
mean,
he's not gonna pay me.
but like, okay, so for instance, okay, say it's banned in the United States. If you go on a cruise or you go out of town, can you download it on your phone while you're out of town and then delete it when you get back? Like, how does that work?
Of course you can, because we're actually free in everywhere except Montana. And the thing is this, like, this is the thing, because you can tell people that something's banned, but you can't tell people not to do that. Like, it's not unlawful. You just banned it. That doesn't make it unlawful. It makes it that you don't want it here. So, like, I could just be like, you know, mommy is banned from this apartment. That doesn't mean you're banned. Like, me saying that doesn't mean she can't show up. It just means
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? You're banned. And even the fines, I just don't even know how they would go about collecting those fines, because it's like,
Well, I
Can
mean,
you
they
threw
can
somebody
if the
off a ban?
people.
Oh, well, I signed the paperwork. Look,
I
this
mean,
one
but if
right
it's the
here.
app store, if the app store is responsible for it, I'm sure they have some type of connection or how they get.
I suppose. And I
So
guess they
like
just have
that,
to
but I
sue
mean, but
everybody though.
that's crazy because now you're making the app stores rely on the people. Well, no, they wouldn't be relying on the people because
They
they
have
would
to
have to
take the
knock
app
off.
down.
They would have to take it down, yeah, because somebody is gonna get them fined like shit.
But here's the problem: they can offer it everywhere, and somebody in Montana downloads it, that's their problem. That's why this just seems so messy and silly to me. Because it's
But
like,
that's
no,
more
you
all the
can't
more reason
control
why they're
people.
probably more apt to quickly remove it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm not trusting these dumbasses out here not to download it. No, let's take it off, remove it so they don't have the option. So, but that is control. You know what I mean? That's crazy. But
This
at
is
the
so
same time, we only get what we can get. Like if somebody
yeah,
said you can't get HBO tomorrow, how are you
yeah.
going to be like, I demand my HBO?
How are
You
you
get
gonna
the
source it?
channels
Yeah.
that you get the channels that are available to you. So, I mean, if you want to be real about it, like somebody's in control of all of this shit.
And then I'm trying to figure out, can you operate TikTok on a computer? Yep, you
I
sure
looked at
can.
it on the computer, yeah.
I just realized, and now I'm remembering. Yep, you could go on Instagram. You can go on your
You can go
computer and
Instagram
see.
on there too, yeah.
So it's like, how are you going to do that? That's the
And if I'm not mistaken, sometimes when you're trying to like set up I know that when you're trying to set up an Instagram business account, you got to link it, or maybe if you're doing a TikTok business page, you got to link a Facebook business page or something like that. Like, so how is that intertwined? Like, if there's people that have their businesses linked like that, um, that's gonna make I don't know. This is
it's so
crazy.
odd to me because you're basically saying like you can't perform on this stage. Like that's for them. It just doesn't make any sense to me right now. Like it's actually like forcing my mind to do things that it's never done
I mean,
before.
I know that
I'm
I
like, how is
can't.
this even possible?
So it's banned on government phones, and nobody with a government phone better be having TikTok on their
But
government phone.
that's because that person could lose their job. They're attached to something with that, right?
I
So
mean,
it's like,
yeah, but the reason why they don't want it could probably be the same reason why this legislation is even in question. You know what I'm saying? So it
yeah.
is used for a lot of different things. Like, and it just all depends on what you're looking for because you could probably find stuff about math on there. You can find stuff about spreadsheets on there. You can find stuff about, I'm sure anything. So, but it's just like, what is the reason that they're using to be like, this is the last straw. We're banning this. You know,
I have so many
I didn't, I
questions.
didn't, I didn't get to read that article, but I'm
I,
like I
no,
said, if
it's
somebody
cool.
goes out of town and it's not, if you ban it in Montana, okay, if I'm not in Montana, while I'm not in Montana, I can use it or nah, like, but then I don't even get a consequence. So what is the motivation for me not to try to use it?
My thing is, I just don't understand how they're going to enforce this because you can find somebody, but that doesn't stop them from operating. My thing
No,
also is that, like,
it's probably going to be some court cases about that.
don't they
I
have to
can't
then
talk to.
sue everyone who does it? And I just don't see them winning that. I mean, all you got to do is bring up the Constitution. Like, it just goes
But
against.
see, okay, so I feel like I'm looking at it in two different things, right? Like the consumer, who is the person who is just the average TikTok user downloading the app, they're not there. This is of no consequence to them if they download it. It's of consequence to the people providing the app store.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in that situation, I mean, the person would probably have to complain about their First Amendment rights because like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would have to be fighting on the behalf of everybody else to be like, people should have their rights. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, what is the reason that they're saying it? But
You know what else is funny? Just the fact that anything can get banned. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's just like
they've
ban
been banning
red
shit for
pants,
years. Yeah, like
ban red pants, ban apples, ban computers.
there's a book that I used to have in high school that is
I know what
banned.
you're talking about.
It's banned in the United States.
Uh-huh.
Not saying that people in the United States don't have it, but it was banned. So like but I mean, even if you look at like food, like there's certain ingredients that I guess are banned in other countries that we use in our
That we
food that
use
they
and
don't
eat
use.
all the time.
Like I wanted to always go. I don't eat McDonald's no more like that, but I always wanted to go to like a McDonald's in like Japan or Tokyo, Japan, in Japan, and see if it tasted like McDonald's in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Because they're everything is different. But then
Their
again,
ingredients are different, but they could be getting it from. But here's my thing.
I don't know if the meat's the same, so I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to do that
Yeah,
anymore.
for sure. Look, I'm just used to the toxic shit that we consume on this on this land. So, I'll just try to do my best, but
You are so
you be
dumb.
eating bats and stuff. I'll be like, I don't want to eat there. But anyway,
I hate to say this, but like, so I freak myself out over food sometimes, right? If I look at it long enough and I start going, I have to
thinking
stop
like,
myself.
oh my God, that's a leg. Ew.
After Goonies, there was a part, was it in Goonies or was it in it might have been in Goonies or Indiana, what was that? Indiana, help me out with that movie. It was a movie called
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. So it must not, I don't think it was Indiana
Jones. Oh, where they sat there, ate the brains and stuff.
But no, I might be mixing the movies up. It was a movie where they had some rice, but then when they looked back at the rice, it had turned to like worms and maggots or something like that. I feel like it was Goonies. But anyway,
was it Lost Boys or was it It might have been that movie with Eddie Murphy.
It could have been. Don't give me the line though, because now I don't know what movie it was. But the point is, sometimes depending on the food, I won't eat it because I'm like, I'm going to freak myself out. I do that when I be looking at stuff to see, like, when you clean your refrigerator out and stuff like that. If I come across something that I'm like, okay, I feel like I bought this a couple of days ago, but I don't know if I bought this a couple of days ago. Just in case, let me just go ahead and throw it out.
It was Lost Boys. Kiefer Sutherland.
Not everything, but if I'm questioning the date, I just go all the way there in my mind, like, nope, something's wrong with it. You're not sure. You probably bought that, 3 weeks ago or whatever. But I'm like that with food. And so like with the rice and stuff like that, sometimes I gotta be like, am I eating that or am I not eating that? So when I was thinking about, when you said bats, people eating bats, like whenever I eat like Chinese food, if I decide to eat Chinese food, or whenever I eat stuff like if I did get like okay, honestly, Chick-fil-A hits like that for me sometimes too. Like when I because I don't eat like Chick-fil-A like that, but when I do, I like the nuggets. But if they're shaped funny, I'm already like, what is that? Is that really chicken? And that's only in my mind, I'm sure.
It is because we've seen so many things where there was like a mouse being fried instead of chicken or something like that.
A piece of chicken like so this before. Is
many things. And here's the thing, like I know for sure, like there's a factual thing about like how many bugs people swallow in a lifetime. Like if you think 14. About with your mouth open, and it's like 14, I never want to know that, but then sometimes I get this weird, it's not even like it happened just then, but it's like sometimes I get this weird taste in my mouth, like, why do I even know what that taste is? Or like when somebody says, oh, that tastes like pee. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what pee tastes like, but I can imagine it. Like, where is that coming from? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I have any like prior knowledge of it? Anyway, we just took it all the way there, but I definitely get.
Oh, okay. So I now have to tell the story. So I had the craziest fucking week, and I had to like go to work and be out of the house more than I'm usually out of the house. When I leave out of the house, I'll leave a treat for King, right? And so I got these new treats from BJ's the other day. And they're like these little soft baked treats or whatever. They're shaped like a heart. Mm-hmm. But so I broke it up for him, but it is the color of shit. So he had only had one the night before, and so it's a new treat to him. So I broke it up and I left it in his little food spot, whatever, and I left. I was gone for at least like 5 hours. Now, usually he comes out and eat the treat like as soon as I leave. I came back and it was still there. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? He probably thought it was shit because it was the same color. He would not eat it. And then when I picked it up and I moved it in the kitchen, and then later on I came and like I gave it to him with my hand or whatever, he fucked it up. But I was like, I wonder if he really was looking at that shit thinking it was shit.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
dogs
probably
think
like,
like
oh,
we
how did
we
they?
do about food. Like, what is that? Because
Oh yeah, for sure.
I definitely do.
I've given Buttercup. So Rachel Ray has this line of pet food, and it's called like Nutrish or something. It's supposed to be really good. But when we brought some of the wet food for her, and we pulled it out, and it was like kind of chunky. Like she left like all the ones that we tried to give her, like the tuna, she just didn't eat. Like one of them, the tuna, like I think it was just too wet for her. And then once it dried up a little bit, she came back and had some. But she's obviously not picky about whatever we drop on the floor or whatever. Like she'll jump up on the table and try to eat your food, but
that is
he was picky about that. There was the shrimp one, and I opened it. You know those little tiny petite shrimp that they sometimes have like at the salad bar or whatever? It was like that size. When I put it in her bowl, I shit you not, she went over there and like yelped at it. And she was like, yeah. And then she went over and looked and she smacked it. Like for real. She like looked and smelled it and was like,
she was like, what is this?
Like, what is that? Oh, she's in here right now talking.
Yeah, she know you're talking about her now. Yeah, it's something about the stuff that falls on the floor that is, I don't know whether it's the velocity that it falls off, whatever it falls off, but they just be like, ooh, that's something I'm not supposed to have. Let me go ahead and get that.
Let me get that.
I don't even care if it's something that's going to take me out.
Right. Oh my gosh, I'd be so worried. Okay, anyway, we're so off topic right now.
Yeah, sorry.
We have so many juicy topics. No, we both did that. So thank you very much, Garcon. Anyway.
Hey, bro.
So anyway, oh, thank you. Oh, I'm getting service, y'all. I'm getting bottle service. So then, okay, here, let's talk about our next topic, which is, wait, did I talk about this Nigerian chef?
No.
I don't think I did. Let me bring a picture up. Thank you so much, hon. All right, so let me tell you, I'm going to share this tab instead. This is a Nigerian chef, Chef Hilda, who actually, one of the Housewives of Potomac knows her because she was in the comments.
Okay.
But she broke the Guinness Book of World Records. She cooked for 100 hours straight. And like, I remember seeing this the other day, like, I guess when she was like on hour 60 or something like that. And she looked so tired. And I was like, oh, please just sit down and have a break.
Okay, so it was for Guinness Book of World Records. Okay. But what was she cooking? Like how do you cook continuously? Because at some point things are done. So like,
look at how tired she is, yo. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, what was she cooking?
I have no idea. She was just, I guess she just kept cooking. Like, I guess you think about like, I'm gonna make,
I mean, but even if you do that, you have to have a list of shit that you're gonna cook in a bunch of ingredients.
I see these people over there, but like, imagine if I told you make 10,000 tacos. It'd probably take you quite a while. You know what I'm saying? So I guess she was cooking maybe like the same thing over and over again. Like, oh, let's make 50,000 sandwiches. Let's make 50,000 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You get to like number 200 and you're like, I think I'm okay.
That is.
I don't know what she was making though, but they said her food is bomb. And everybody came out to support. I saw all of these pictures of them cheering her on. And this is after it was over. And she just looked so, it's so funny.
I mean, because not only was she cooking, but she was up for like 3 days, longer than 3 days straight. That's crazy.
And the thing about it is, she
just standing there for 3 days, she'd be tired.
People's energy. And she's bringing, she's bringing attention to her hometown, which I think is very cool. So I just really appreciated that. I mean, to highlight that because I think it's dope.
100 hours is the longest time to do anything, even if you're just standing there.
For sure.
That's crazy. But those people that do those car contests, when they have
when they have their hand on the car.
Yeah. So like, she didn't stop to use the bathroom or nothing like that.
Man, I didn't even think about that.
Use the bathroom. But anyway, you got me intrigued. I'm gonna go look some more into that.
Yeah.
I never even knew nothing like that was going on. I would never sign up to cook for 100 hours.
I wouldn't either, but sometimes people just, I mean, like, that's not even a dream of mine, but
no,
I don't know why she would have done it, but I don't know, maybe she
for the Guinness Book of World Records. That's
I guess so.
People do some wild shit, but I haven't looked in that book in a long time. I might actually, start looking at that again. I used to be fascinated with that when I was in high
Yeah.
school. I love that shit. I used to be like, look at this. Look what this person did.
Like somebody did this amount of jumping jacks, or like I
Just
know David
anything.
Goggins had broke that record for pull-ups, which to me was really risky because you could actually hurt your body like that, which I think he did. But anyway, neither here nor there. The next
Plus, it's
topic,
hard as shit to do pull up anyway. So like that's crazy.
and he
But
did thousands of them, and he broke the record. Anyway,
I
and
just want to
it
do one.
took him several attempts. So the first time he didn't break the record, but he did all of these pull-ups and didn't win. And I was like, that's gotta suck. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, but not really, because if you think about the journey that he's on, it sucked, but it didn't suck because he probably surpassed another record that was before that, like, within himself. So anyway,
within himself, it is just like, okay, well now I've got to do this because I'm not gonna stop. You know what I'm saying?
Right, okay. Right.
Next topic is, it's actually funny because it's actually a couple of topics in one. So if you don't know who Isaac Hayes III is, he's Isaac Hayes' son, like the Isaac Hayes that we know. I know you know, but I was just saying that to everybody else. And he actually is the founder of a social media platform called Fanbase. I think we may have talked about this before here.
A long time ago. Yeah.
Did we?
No, not this specifically, but we've talked about
Fanbase, which I am a believer in, and I'm signed up for it, and I hope everybody gets an account as well.
No, I need to upload over there. I haven't uploaded over there in a minute.
So here's what's funny. So Isaac Hayes, to me, he's one of the most intelligent people that I've heard speak, as far as like on podcasts and stuff like that. Like the way that he thinks and the way that he communicates is just, it's amazing. And I love to see him being interviewed because of just the way that he thinks. But his posts be funny as I don't know what. So he posted about Freaknik a few weeks back, and I was laughing at that. Like, Freaknik was a long time ago. It was like 22 years ago. But anyway.
But whatever came of that documentary, real quick.
I think they're actually making it, and people are mad.
Come out yet? When is it supposed to come out?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I know
I wasn't in it, so I ain't.
I know I wasn't. The year I got down there, Freaknik had been canceled, so it was canceled like the year before, or something. Yeah, like
whatever.
That.
Listen, so whatever y'all did, who went to Freaknik, y'all messed it up for us.
Yeah, because they would have like a lot of, they would just basically be having sex in the street, and just a whole bunch of stuff will pop off. But I used to see pictures of it, like, when I was still in DC, and I was like, wow, this is wild. But by the time I got down there, it was already shut down. So it was like, which I'm glad, because we probably would have went down there, and which would not. I mean,
because from what it sounds like, just you never, like, that's the thing. Once you get older, you start to realize like how certain things look, and like when you're younger, you hang with a lot of different people. You know what I'm saying? Like you come into contact, like whether it be at school or jobs you work, or like just different events that collaborate people that you don't even really know that much about. You know what I'm saying? Like living on campus in college, like you don't really know that much about everybody you're living with. You just know your close circle of friends. But like when you grow up to be whatever it is that you're gonna be, it's interesting to see what they like. Like, cause somebody was putting those posts up about, they had pictures from Freaknik, and they were like, a guidance counselor, a lawyer,
yes,
or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you don't know what you might end up like being or becoming. And so it's like interesting to see, like, when people are younger, who they hang with. So I can imagine people would be highly upset, but
I never had any like,
luckily I wasn't there,
questions about like who I was hanging out with. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna say who all gonna be there, but you're gonna go anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like you might go to a house party, you might not fuck with everybody there, but a lot of people are gonna be there. So it's like highly possible that, like, okay, people who grew up around Kanye and Drake or whatever, they probably were at a house party together at some point. They may not have hung with each other, but it's interesting to think about that. But I thought when is it coming out? I want to see it. I actually want to see what's going on with it. It was big discussion about that.
Find some information on it. And I could see why people will be nervous about it coming out, because you've lived for years after that, and nobody
And you might
brought
be
it
doing
up, and
something
now it's about
totally
to be pictures of people
like you
doing
might have
things.
totally changed your life. You know what I'm saying? Because like the thing is, when you that young, like I mean, not that everybody was really young going there. It's probably some older people doing it too. But when you're in your 20s, John, you making decisions that affect the rest of your life, and you don't even have, you know, half of the knowledge that, you know, I'm sure a lot of people wish they had. By the time you get in your 30s and 40s, you're like, dang, I wish I knew this. I wish I knew that, you know, back then. But like the decisions that you're making back in that age group is crazy. So I can just imagine.
The wildest party never told on April 6th.
Okay, so it should be already,
I
is it on
suppose
Netflix
it's on
or
Hulu.
Hulu? It's on Hulu.
Yeah, we
Hey,
gotta look for it.
Ellen.
Hey, Ellen, what's going on? So
So it's on
yeah,
Hulu. Okay,
listen,
let
we
me write
gotta
that
watch
down.
out for that because I know for sure that I wasn't there, but wouldn't it be funny as
I
hell if
wasn't
we
there.
saw some people like some of our aunts or like somebody you would never think, somebody you would never think to see, like, oh my God, that's my neighbor.
Oh my gosh, yo. Oh my gosh.
Like this would be so funny to me if I just saw somebody like from my church or somebody like, you know what I
Yeah, I'm
mean?
saying that's highly possible because people grow and change. You know what I'm saying? You might like that person could be a first lady right now, but 20 years ago they might have been, you know, hands on the knees, hands on the
Yeah. Ellen, so sad. I do watch it, but we're not
Oh my
talking
god.
about it tonight. We will definitely
We'll talk about it next week
we'll
because
talk
I
about
gotta
it
catch
next
up.
week. We were just about to bring up this next topic though with Isaac Hayes. Now, this is actually a topic inside a topic. I just got sidetracked because we're talking about Freaknik, which is a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. And when I see that joint, yo, that just might be like a trilogy. We might
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, anybody who know me, I'm looking for people I know just to see.
You know what's funny? Even though I didn't go to Freaknik, I'm now thinking about the parties and stuff that I went to, and I wasn't like crazy. I wasn't like freaking on everybody or anything like that, but like just some of the outfits that I wore and just poor decisions that I made. And
Did you ever go to Black Bike Week?
I don't think so. Nope, I never did.
I have definitely. Listen. I'll say this. I'll say this and leave it here. I'm so glad that cell phones were as prominent as they are now. Back then, when I was doing the shit that I was doing, because I definitely was doing some dumb shit at some point.
Absolutely. And guess what? All the dumb shit I did never happened.
Hey, never happened.
I used to get out and okay, so this is like
because I definitely took part of some wild situations. It's like, did that really happen?
We didn't see the documentary either, Ellen. We're just saying when we do watch it, we're going to talk about it. But it's funny because I definitely have some wild things that I have done and woke up in the morning and like, you know how it'll come back to you during the day and you'll just have these just flashbacks of the night before, like, oh my God, I can't believe I really did that.
Living young and wild and free.
Literally, I would say those things to myself during the day, like, oh my God. Like, and I wasn't even out there doing the most, but just the idea that, you know, you get a little saucy and, you know.
I won't say that I didn't do the most, but I know that I had fun. I've done some crazy shit. And you know, that's just it. Like I'm just glad it's no cameras. Like I wouldn't deny doing whatever I did with the people that I was with. Right? Like, oh yeah, we went to that party or whatever. I wouldn't deny it, but I'm not gonna bring it out. You know what I'm saying? But I never. But I'm just glad that there aren't cameras to remind me of certain instances because. Ellen, I definitely, you know, in fact, Ellen, because I did have a fun, well, I do have a fun life, but I definitely have calmed down a lot. But I was always down for a party. We going out. Okay. I'm actually surprised. I know. How old was I?
Listen, let's not speak it up into existence. I don't want anybody coming.
Well, I mean, listen, I'll end it with this. You're not your past, okay? And
true.
We're older now, and so it is what it is. But you know, I just feel bad for the kids that are this age because you know, there's a camera everywhere. So
Everywhere.
act
Somebody got
accordingly.
a picture of it, a Snapchat. Well, Snapchat's expired, but somebody got a picture of it or something. Like, there's
And
people
somebody
who.
probably got some picture out there of me from way back in the day at some party or whatever. They could, but
But it's
listen.
somewhere on like a Qualcomm
But
or
the thing
some flip
is,
phone,
but the thing is,
and it's grainy, and they can't prove
no.
it
But
to
the
you.
thing is, whatever it is, it's not that serious because it's 2023, and now we're trained to be like, oh, something's happening. Click. What's going on? Back then, you just
So
got it
true.
out because something fun was happening. So whatever.
Yeah, whatever's out there, it's out there. But
I
I'm
just
just glad
know,
that I didn't grow up
you know,
like this with everything out
yeah,
there.
nah,
So
nothing.
okay, let me get to this topic. So basically, Isaac Hayes is a funny dude. He's an intelligent person. He actually Ellen is crazy. Isaac Hayes
He
is
said,
funny.
low key, I wish I was my pal. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, that's how he rolling. So
Mm-hmm.
he was actually shouting out Kevin on stage because Kevin on stage actually made a post about. Okay, let me just get to it. I gotta explain it here because I need to make sure that this audio works. But Kevin on stage, I'm gonna let Kevin on stage explain what he's talking about. It has to do with Jamie Foxx and his family, but it's interesting that what he says. All right, let me just play the
Okay.
Daniel. Okay, wait, you can't even hear it, I'm sure.
No, I can't hear it. I thought I did when it first started. No.
Okay, great. I'm about to find the joint again. All right. Well, anyway, we're not even gonna go there. But what I will say is this: not Tyler Perry, Jamie Foxx, was in the hospital, but we don't know when. Basically, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even like last week, a claim came out, this post came out. Jamie Foxx's loved ones are reportedly preparing for the worst. And I remember when that post came out because I was like, dang, man, I've been hearing about this for a long time. But then, so his daughter actually came out and was like, I don't know where they're getting this from. He's been at home for several weeks. Like, we're getting through this.
She said he was playing pickleball. Yeah.
So then he was like, who is Rap TV? Because that was the people who put it out. So he went to go look up Rap TV and he looked at all of these people, okay, that are behind Rap TV. Not one of them that I could see was black. And then he just went down the thing because he went down the rabbit hole. And it's like everybody's information is out there now. So what he did was he went to LinkedIn and found out who's the founder, who works there, and this guy named Tyler Perry, but it's not Tyler Perry that we know of.
Okay.
All right, so here's my whole point in bringing this up, because you got this whole. And then I went to go look at Rap TV's page, and I'm pretty sure, like, I'm not following them, but I'm pretty sure that their feed comes up sometimes. You can see as he's scrolling, there's all these stories about black people, but there's not one black person that we saw on their LinkedIn. And it's possible that somebody works there that's black that's not featured on LinkedIn or doesn't have a LinkedIn profile. But the idea that the marketing director and the founder and all those people are not black, but their content is about black people.
Look at how easy it is to do that because, like, for instance, like, you're scrolling on the internet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody has content that you're interested in. Like, you don't always go to the person and see who's like he said on their LinkedIn. That's wild.
Which is crazy because if you think about it, like, okay, so anybody can do this. I follow a lot of stuff like Black News Page and a bunch of stuff, and I in Hollywood TV, and like it's a bunch of stuff that I look at, and I don't necessarily know exactly who runs it. Like, I know Jason Lee has I forget what the name of his is. It's escaping me right now, but I'll follow this. Yeah, okay, Hollywood Unlocked. There's something about Jason Lee though that I rock with him. So like, even though he be messy sometimes, like, it doesn't bother me because I just appreciate him being like sort of himself. But I rock with him because he's black, and he also has, and it's not just because he's black, but it's like he'll have these conversations with people face to face. And it's not like he's talking crap behind their back, because he'll just be like, well, you be out here in these streets though.
He's
Like
not scared to
he'll
have the
pull
face
somebody
to face.
out like that and be like, well, I heard about you over at
Yeah,
Tristan's
he's
house.
not scared to. Yeah, he's not.
You know what I'm saying? He'll pull it out. So it's like I can respect that, and I can respect his hustle, and that's somebody who built something. But it's not necessarily something. So even if he wasn't, and I'm not really sure. I don't want to get into this because I don't really have the facts to support this, but I don't know what his background and nationality is, but he's focused on celebrities, and he's not necessarily focused on just black people. He's focused on Hollywood. But the idea is that for me to come out and be like, I'm gonna do posts about young Hungarian children, right, you know what I'm saying, it would be super weird because I have no background and no affiliation. And it's like, if I'm talking about Hungarian kids TV, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, but like, so they're banking on it's probably a lot of companies out here that people think are black owned that are not either. Like, they are basically like, there's a market for this. Let's make some of this content. And that's basically probably what's happening, because it's probably a lot of people doing that. But like, on the average, if you're scrolling through your feed, depending on what you're doing, because sometimes I scroll through my feed if I got like 5 minutes doing work, maybe I'll like look through stuff, but I'm not doing thorough research on each of those clicks. I'm just like, oh, if I like the content, I'm like, oh, that's funny, whatever. And honestly, if you're moving fast like that and it has an urban name, you would assume that it is.
I did.
You know what I'm saying? But I bet you it's a whole bunch of companies that are just sliding through like that. You know
I mean, look, don't you remember when a couple years ago when Juneteenth became a holiday, like a federal holiday, and then they had these ice cream cones out, and they were selling stuff at Walmart, like they was ready.
I think Bath and Body Works had a candle.
Oh, that was so irritating to me because I do love my Bath and Body Works. I cannot lie. It's a couple of brands out here that I hope
left over there too.
It's a couple of brands. Yes, you gotta get that joke. It's a couple of brands that I really, really hope never do anything racist or deplorable, because I just don't know if I could never make another Amazon order, or if I'm gonna ever, like I'm always gonna want a Cinnabon. Like, there's a couple of companies out there that I just hope and pray every day that just don't do anything crazy like Target. Like, you think I'm gonna stop going to Staples?
And somebody probably gonna come in the comments and say Cinnabon already did something, because I must say I do not want to stop eating Cinnabon. Okay, I only eat the top part, but still, I don't want to stop eating Cinnabon. So you're right. Yeah, I don't know if I can not order Amazon. I mean, I could if it was like.
Of course, we could, and there have been times where they
wouldn't want to, but I have to use this as a little plug. That's all the more reason why we need to like look for our Black-owned businesses as well, because it's a lot of Black-owned businesses that sell everything, like from fucking protective style hair wraps. We got people that make bread, people that make soap, people that teach courses, like everything, people that make food. You got, everything. So like, we should always be looking to that too. But it's no discrimination against any other businesses, but I mean,
listen, I just thought this was an interesting topic because I'm glad that he sat in there and did the work.
I'm gonna watch that.
It's so funny. Shout out to Kevin Stage. What'd you say?
You sent it to me?
I think so.
Okay. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it
right after this if I didn't. Okay.
He said that's like Tariq Nasheed and all the white people he has working for him. So like, yeah, that could totally be just like they said they hire people during the elections to go and like, mix in with crowds and do stuff or whatever, like somebody could totally be paid to be like, hey, post all this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, they know that it's a market for that stuff, and they just probably are just like riding along for it.
Like, of course. And here's the thing, like, they've got to be making some sort of money, because otherwise they wouldn't be in existence. They wouldn't have all those people. And so but the funny thing is, of course they're making money.
How many followers?
Majority of Black people. Say again?
How many followers do they have?
Who, Rap TV?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I mean, like that's such a like basic 1, 2, 3 name too. Like, I'm gonna
Rap
just choose Rap
TV.
TV. I mean, it makes sense.
I'm about to find out for you right now.
But I'm telling you, like people do stuff for content a lot, and it's like,
It
oh,
would be so funny if I'm following them.
I don't even want to say this, but like when Kevin Samuels had first started out, he was talking about something else, but I mean, I'm not going to say he didn't have any
He
points.
has 11.2 million followers. Now I got
if there's a market for it, like you can start talking about it. It's a lot of people, and I'm not discrediting anything that he said because he did have some points, but what he was talking about initially wasn't as lucrative as what he ended up talking about. So, I mean, I can totally see that, and I probably got some likes mixed up in there because I never took the time to research to see who Rap TV was.
Listen, here's the thing. I'm not trying to hate on them because they're white, but
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna not go to it, but it is
no, and I know that's not what you were saying, but what I'm saying is I just feel like this is capitalization. Like, and it's so funny because now I'm seeing other colors in there.
Because I mean, like people are free to do content about whatever they want to do content about. Like we could totally do like content on the ballet or whatever the topic is, right? Like, I mean, would it be wrong for us to do content on country music or whatever? You know what I mean?
No, and I get that too. That's a great point. My problem is this. Like, I feel like this is the story of Black people in America is that people want to experience our culture and they want to do all the things that, like exploit us. They want to be on the bandwagon, but then when we're having a crisis in our community, there's no one who's going to stand up and be like, oh yeah, that's wrong. It's like you want to take all of the stuff that's fun for you to experience, our music, our athletes, our innovations, our fashion. We want to take all the stuff from Black people and then when Black people actually need you to show up and vote for something, or you know what I mean, like a protest, then it's like you're nowhere to be found. Oh, I was just here for the music and the baggy jeans. You know what I'm saying? It's God. It's so crazy to me when I think of it like that.
I wonder what type of, I'm going to go look at it because I want to see the tone of stuff that's on there. Like, is it all bad stuff? Is it a mix of
No, it's a mix. It's definitely a mix.
Interesting stuff. Like,
yeah, it's just like whatever's happening in the media. Like, they got something in here about Nick Cannon. They got something on here about Corday, who is bomb, who wins an Emmy Award. So,
it could just be, but that's a lot of damn followers. And I bet you a lot of people just assumed that it was because Rap TV sounds like something that you've heard before. You know what I'm saying? Like a TV.
Yeah, it does. But this is the thing. And this is why I bring it up, because it's so funny how we just trust, especially if you're like in your own home, like on your couch or in your bed scrolling, and you're not really putting together the fact that these people are who they say they are. You're just scrolling and you just accept it. It's just like, oh, this person's name is Tiffany 03. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just like we're looking at these things, and when we see a Rap TV or a Hollywood this or whatever, it's just like we tend to be like, oh, this must really be.
I mean, listen, that's how the hackers and stuff do it too. They fucking take your name and they put a fucking underscore after it or whatever, and then they start trying to get your followers and scamming your people. Like that's how that's how it happens. So I'm telling you, it's probably a mixture of the two. Like, if there are no videos of them actually talking to people, it's just posting stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't see any of that. Okay, so listen, I'm going to move on to the next topic now, and then we're going to get into this Real Housewives. So we be on here for like 50 minutes before we start our shit. But anyway, this one can be quick. Okay. Now, sure everybody's seen this in the news. Lord, gee. And it's so funny to me because I haven't I've seen some comments, but I have my own comments, so I just am not even really going to touch on a whole bunch of stuff. But Gabrielle Union, for those of you who don't know, she did an interview and she was making this point about how her and her husband Dwayne Wade split the bills 50-50. And she was like, so I can't just be laying around. I gotta be like, oh, I gotta get up and work because these bills have to be paid because they split stuff 50-50. Now, if you're not familiar, I think Gabrielle Union is worth like maybe $40 million. And Dwayne Wade has, I think he has hundreds of millions of dollars.
I think it's 170.
Yeah.
It's 170.
So after she says the 50-50 comment, it comes up that now this is a topic of discussion. Now, I'm not trying to judge them or say what they should be doing or anything like that. We just really want to have the discussion around like what that actually means and what that looks like. So yeah, he has a net worth of 170 million. She has a net worth of 40 million. So neither of them are doing bad at all. I'm tired to be there. The scandal comes in where she's saying that she pays 50-50. Now let me just kick it to you. What are your thoughts on that?
So it's two ways you can do it, right? Like, you could do 50-50 down the middle, or you can do like a percentage. Like, if you make $2,000 a month and I make $4,000 a month, then we'll figure out what that looks like based on both our things. Now, I'm gonna say like what I prefer and what I've experienced. So I've experienced a person that, I experienced 50-50, but to me, I didn't look at it as he was getting over. But if we're together, both of us will have more money. Like, I don't want, but I guess that's not the attitude to have for the public. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not looking for a dude to be like, hey, let me split it 50 down the middle. You know what I mean? But it also depends on your age too, because
that's true.
If you're young, you're not gonna meet anybody like that. But for them, I mean, I feel like there's also an element of control in that, because
that's what I was gonna say.
Because if you do have a dude that pays for everything, it's a lot of other stuff that might come with that. And so I'm an Aries, not that really means much, but I'm that person that I don't want to feel like you feel like I owe you something. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, I just don't want to feel like that. And maybe that might be masculine, I don't know, but I don't like to feel like that. I don't like to feel like I'm taking advantage of somebody. So what that does, though, it does help. It does make me overstep sometimes and offend the dudes that don't like 50-50, the dudes that want to come in and take care of everything. If I offer to do anything, it's like, how the fuck dare you do that? You know what I mean? But I, like I said, for her, I think it's a little bit of a control thing, because she did have, she had a conversation somewhere else about that. I can't remember exactly what she said about it, but her thought pattern, given her thought pattern, I think she's trying to just be like, look, I'm paying my dues in here. Like, if something happens, for her, she won't feel like she got played completely. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. But I do think it's something that she thinks that is, I think she's using it as some type of control situation to be like, I'm contributing just as much as you are. So like, you're not going to ever tell me what to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how.
Yeah, I could see that. Now, I just switched to this next slide. And again, this is so funny because I did not look these people up to see who they are. The Uncut News.
That's what she said. He paid all the bills. She paid all the bills. Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing.
I forgot about dude, though.
I remember them being together. Well, here's the thing, though. I realized that after you brushed your situation up, I realized that I have had a couple situations too, that I have been in positions where it wasn't like 50-50, but like he was paying all of the bills. You remember a dude that nobody liked, that our aunts didn't like. I won't say his name, but he ended up moving to Atlanta. And thank God he did. But he was paying the bills. He was paying the bills and the rent, and I got to take my check and do whatever I wanted to do. But whenever he would just like get on my nerves, that would come into my head like, well, okay, I guess he's paying all the bills, so I just have to be, like I just can't say anything. So there is a level of control that I do agree that happens there, and maybe it
And
is.
now I will say it also depends on the dude too,
It
because
does,
even
for
though
sure.
the 50-50 situation that I last had, yeah, I can't even really say we did 50-50 because we paid the bills, but he definitely went far and beyond in other areas, even though we might have split certain things, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, like that was just the basics, but whatever's left after the bills, it's like
even financially, like if we split bills, I think the only bill that we might have split was the rent. Because and it was like we split that, and then I would take care of like cable and stuff like that. We would split groceries because we're eating all of this, but then financially in other places he was doing other stuff that didn't have anything to do with the bill. So I mean, I think it depends on the person, but now that you put this picture up, that's what I remember her saying, something about I remember her talking about the bills, but I feel like for her, she probably is like,
for her, it's probably like, this is a come up. I used to pay this all.
But it does come off like, like her doing that interview, it does come off like she kind of put her penis on the table. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to me, it okay, because here's how other people are taking it. They're like, I can't believe he's letting her pay half the bills because he makes so much money. So if this is from a guy's perspective. His name is Poppy Chulo Dreaded. And actually, I came across him via the social proof, network, whatever, right? And he is a millionaire. And he was saying, like, if you're a millionaire, if you're not a regular, everyday working person, because I feel like this is kind of a different scenario when you have that much money and you don't really have to split it, right? Because for all of us out here she said a come up from a dusty. I know that's right, Ellen. Listen, here's the deal. If we're out here, we're trying to make it on these streets, right? We're not poverty or anything like that, but like, yeah, I need to use my money that I make sure that my bills are paid, right? Like, it's not all my money, but it's a good amount of my money. And so I think for people who aren't like multimillionaires, but I wouldn't even want to say multimillionaires, because some people who are multimillionaires have bills that match what they have incoming. And and the assumption here is that their bills are far less. This is the assumption that I'm making when I say this, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, anyway, I don't know. My point is, the dude that I'm talking about, Poppy Chulo Dreaded, he was basically saying, let me see if I can bring his joint up, because he was basically saying, how dare he not pay the bills? And his point was kind of like the point that you were making, because he was like, this is how women get out of their feminine, because they have to go and work. And he's like, so here's the funny thing, because I talked to James like this. Listen, this is so funny because it's kind of like a joke, but James has all these podcasts and all these endeavors, and sometimes like he'll come and try to get me to do something and I'm at work, and I'll be like, listen, when you make me a housewife, I'll be there for you the whole time. But right now I have to, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a joke, but at the same time, this is what he's saying. He's like, when you have to go work and take care of your responsibilities as a woman, it does kind of take you out of your feminine, because you're having to
because you have to operate in the masculine. You have to ovulate in you have to operate in your masculine sometimes when you're working.
Absolutely.
So it does leave you in that zone a little longer than you should be. But that's a good point, though, because if I am already handling all of my business, wouldn't you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, come pay all my bills. You know what I mean? Because I know what it feels like to work and pay for it. So I'm not just gonna take advantage of your money. But it's like a give and take. Yeah, like if I'm over here doing all that I'm doing, and some of that stuff would, if I had a man, he would be doing that. I am in the masculine.
Hello.
And for an extended period of time.
Yeah, and I'm not putting any judgment on anybody.
I feel like she put her penis on the table, because I would never say that out loud. Like, I would never go tell anybody, yeah, we
pay 50-50,
because it's none of their business. It's between you and I. But the fact that she a person who is on TV. This is another person who knows how to have a moment. Like, she knew that somebody, like, that people were going to pick this up and run with this. Like, nobody needed to know that.
For sure. And here's the funny thing. Like, okay, here's where I'm going to take it. And this is might be uncomfortable for some, but I'm just going to take it here because I'm going to make some comparisons here. And not to say that these people are all the same or they have the same opportunities or yada, yada, yada. I'm just bringing it up for the fun of the conversation. But I look at a team like a LeBron and a Savannah. LeBron James and Savannah. And to me, and I don't know them personally, obviously, but to me, they're giving off teamwork. I'm getting meal preps. I'm getting planning. I mean, Savannah is one of those people in my mind that is so organized and know where everybody's supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. She's dropping off kids. She's picking up groceries. She's also checking LeBron. Like, what? Where you about to go? You know what I'm saying? I just see her being like, that's her in my mind. Like, she looks great. She takes care of her body. Her skin is amazing, and she seemed like she stayed on top of her business. And what I was gonna say there, which I'm sure I'm gonna get some flack for, is that to me it seems like they're building one machine, and everybody's pouring into that machine all of the fuel that they have, so that if they're not operating two different machines, then the one machine is just going to get that much stronger. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about Dwayne Wade and about my girl being Mary Jane, because I love me some Gabrielle Union, but and also we don't know how true this is. She might say, well, we split 50-50, and it might actually be something else. So, but I bring that up because I look at other teams. I'm saying teams, like relationships, like they're doing a lot over there. They're leading the trans movement. But
wait, hold on. I didn't read the caption. Okay, Gabrielle Union says her and Dwayne Wade split the bills 50-50. In some months, she wonders if she can cover her portion of bills. All right, I didn't read that.
Yeah, so in the clip, she said, like, I sometimes I'll be like, oh, you got to get up and work because you got to be able to afford to pay half. Now, she has $40 million. I don't know what their bills are, but my thinking is that, you know, that probably could go really quickly if you're thinking about, oh, I got to pay mortgage on a mansion. I got to do this.
Okay, but this makes me feel like this. Like, yes, you know, as a woman, like, yeah, your man is supposed to be your protector. And it doesn't always have to be all financial. You're providing.
Provider.
Right. And so it's like, okay, whenever I come across a situation where a woman is struggling inside of a marriage and the husband's not, that kind of makes me feel like, what the fuck is he doing? So when I read that, it says to me that if she's wondering if she can cover her portion of the bills, like, if that's something she's stressed about, why wouldn't he, with his millions of dollars, take care of that? So that caption makes me look at it at a little bit different. Like, is he making her pay that? Or is
that's what it seems. Okay, so also she's.
But at the same time, why would she come out here and start talking about that?
Listen, she also has been on social media for the past few days, putting up all these funny memes and captions about, like, we over here living our best life, hashtag 50-50. Like, so she's kind of making a joke about it, but I've seen her do that before in the media. So I really don't know how to take it.
We don't really know these days who actually, because some people will do stuff just because they know they're going to get the reaction and they don't care how it looks. You know what I'm saying?
And like, I mean, listen, she's not hurting. I don't think she's hurting at all. But my point is this: I don't know how much their bills are either, because they could be both paying, you know what I'm saying, $20 million a month in bills, and that could get kind of hairy. Okay, Ella says, listen, my ex-boyfriend paid all the bills. Her ex-BFF. Sorry. Her ex-BFF paid all the bills in her marriage. And the way she demasculated her husband, speak on it, and she demasculated and emasculated him. I used to feel so bad for him, but he was a Dusty. Okay, let me just be real, because I've had a Dusty before too. I do not have a Dusty.
I've had a Dusty or two as well.
I've had a Dusty or three.
Not gonna lie.
And the funny thing is, you just don't see it coming. Now, I got out of it, obviously, but it is such an irritating slap in the face when you get up to go work and this person doesn't have anywhere to go, or they're not contributing enough, but they there to eat the groceries, or they be like, "Oh, we going out? Where we going?" And it's like that joint does not feel right. That joint does not feel right at all. And I don't think I wouldn't say I've emasculated people, but you cannot get used to that. Like I just it's not natural. And I hate to get so traditional, but like this, I'm just speaking from the heart. Like I couldn't take care of a man. And like here's the thing, I can't say I can't take care of a man, because let me take that back. I'm about to bring up another couple who I wanted to just highlight these couples who I feel like operate in a team sort of effort. So I got LeBron and Savannah. I got Tab and Chance. Now, if we know about Tabitha Brown,
they talked about her too. I love Auntie Tab and well, she can't.
I love Chance too, and I don't look at it like.
Remember how Wendy talked about her for retiring her husband? But
I love that.
Too. Like it's all in your mindset, though. It is on the people, because you know, why wouldn't you want your person that you're spending the rest of your life with to be as comfortable as he can be, so y'all can be as comfortable as y'all can be? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's all in your own situation, in your own relationship, because of me seeing them and knowing like who he is and like what he stands for, and the fact that he supported them, like they were, you know, working for more than 20 years. And just the way his mind works.
He put his life on the line and was a police officer. You know what I'm saying?
I don't look at it like that, like she's carrying him or whatever. But like, it's so funny because the internet, now I'm one of the internet people, have so many opinions because they operate as a team and it works.
They put it out here. So.
You know what I'm saying? And then another one, of course, I got to bring up Beyonce and Jay-Z, because here's two people who seem to be building two different machines, right? It's probably one machine, and we just don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. She might have NFL contracts, and we don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
well, it looks like she's not dancing on tour, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh my gosh. Are you know what? You are not gonna have the Beehive coming for me. I'd like to retract that statement. Let me go on record as retracting that statement. No, she definitely is dancing. I think she had foot surgery. Okay, so listen, guys. I'm not a part of the Beehive, but I'm a former representative. I just want to speak on behalf of the Beehive. I think that I don't want to speak on behalf of the Beehive, but I think that she had some foot surgery issues. And the recent photos and the recent videos that I've seen, she's been dancing.
Okay, because I was about to say, she should have just postponed it.
Oh my gosh. Nobody would do that after they sold that many tickets. It's not a bad show. She's got so many visuals. I just don't think, and I also feel like, she's 41, everybody. She's not going to be, it's a thing that we do in our culture that's so
I got to look at the recent videos that you're talking about, because the ones I seen, she was not moving like that.
There's a one where she had this beat costume on, and I think the costume was heavy. And it was made out of metal. And so she didn't want to, that's what I'm thinking. But there's other videos of her just kind of like standing there. Even when she was in Dubai, she didn't dance that much. And I know that she had foot surgery because I was there, but I wasn't. I like to just put that out.
You said that's just so matter of factly though. Okay, so Ella said, Funky Deneva said that they both pay for multiple households, which is why they pay 50-50.
I get it.
I mean,
it's cool. Now, here's the thing. I would say this about Beyonce and Jay-Z, that it appears that they are building two separate machines, but it's all going into the same machine. She built the
shout out to the Dusties that were.
Yeah. Shout out to the Dusties. Good riddance. I'm so glad you y'all. Hey, Mr. Dusty number 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how many I had of y'all. I think I really only had like 2 Dusties, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I'm only thinking of one right now. I'm thinking of Dusty number 1. Poor little Tink Tink. I'm so
depends glad. On what
I'm so glad I got rid of you.
What defines them as a Dusty, because that it might be more.
All right, let's define a Dusty. I have some adjectives. A Dusty is one that listen, a Dusty is one that does not contribute in any practical way towards a functioning household. So if you're not, and I mean, you ain't got no money, okay? Because I don't care if you're in there sweeping the floors and cleaning the toilets all day. You're a Dusty. You need to be able to have other options. If you're only here because you have to be here in order to eat, I don't like that. Like when I go to work and I come back and you're still there, it's not okay. It's not okay unless
that's crazy. Yeah, no.
Now that I'm married, though, like there are circumstances, like with this person particularly, with my husband, that like if something ever happened to him and he couldn't work, or something happened, he got laid off, or he lost his job, or whatever. Like we'll figure it out for a while. Like you know what I'm saying. I wouldn't throw him away if he couldn't work. That's what I'm saying. Like so I'm married, but as far as like this is our norm, like nigga, you need a job. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to take care of you. Like
I don't understand dudes who don't want to work though. Like I don't understand that. Like you don't want to work, make money. Like you don't want to make money.
I can understand somebody who's like following a dream of theirs that if it hasn't happened yet and you want to follow this dream and I have the means to take care of us for a while you do this dream, I can see that working out. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, do I know this person? Are we together? Were they working?
I mean, I'm talking about
Tab and Chance, for instance, right? He had a dream, but that nigga worked until he was able to do his dream. He didn't just sit there and be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna wait. Like he went out and got a job. So,
let's take it another route to our next couple.
Okay,
Kandi and Todd, and this is a good segue into our next topic.
Kandi and Todd.
When Todd and Kandi met, he was on the production for Bravo. So he had a good job, and I'll bet there are thousands of women out there who would have thought that he's a come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he got a job at Bravo. Like he could pay half these bills with me or all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a good look. Now, Kandi has made it so we all know about Mama Joyce and how she is continuously shat on Todd. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, I understand where she's coming from as a mom.
As a mom, yeah.
That she was looking out for her daughter and she's, looking at him a certain way because he doesn't make as much money as her daughter. But I also feel like, he took a lot. He took a lot, especially after years and years and years, and there still wasn't anything substantial. There still wasn't anything that he did wrong. And it's like, okay, he's here and now there's children involved. And like, you got to lay off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is what happened. But Kandi has actually said out of her own mouth and chin that, I don't even know why I said that. This is random, folks. She's actually said out of her own face that, he started off on this level, and after we've worked together in so many products, he's on this level, like so over so many projects, because it's like if she has a skill, which she does, her and Tiny both have a skill to understand how to do deals. And I think a lot of us have the capacity to do this, but we just don't have the belief. But it's like a deal is a deal. Like you have a job, you made a deal, right? Okay, show up here every day at 8:00 and I'll pay you every 2 weeks. Deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just as like that. So if you have a product or if you have a service or if you have a platform, you can make deals with several different people and entities. And I think
right. It goes back to what you said, like belief. I think the message in the chat from your husband.
Oh gosh. Nah, I'm the type to pull out the pot when we are out of options. If there's a will, there's a way. What is the pot? Is he talking about marijuana? Listen, obviously nobody says pot, so that's an imposter. So you gotta watch these. You gotta watch these imposters out here on the dark web.
So let me interject really quick because right now Kandi feels like on the current season of our HOA, she feels like he's starting things, like he's like trying to make stuff her fault. But this man really is finding all of these things to do. He's opening up all these restaurants. He's trying to work on this movie. Now he's trying to use these restaurants to fund his movie. Like, so, I mean, I do think he's a little bit of an opportunist. And he's probably making the best of his situation because, like, what else is he supposed to be doing? You know what I mean? He wrote on the show. Now he's about to make a movie. But I don't know. It's always been something about Todd and Candy that has been a little off to me. I don't know what it is,
Oh, I
but
would.
now, huh?
Yeah, I agree. I was just trying to
I
put my
can't figure
finger on
out
it.
what it is though, but now, so this you didn't see this week's episode yet, but so he opened this other restaurant called Blaze, right?
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay, so something happened there. Her cousin got shot. Somebody that
Oh
works
yeah,
there
okay, I
or
saw the
whatever.
clip. Okay.
So they're trying like to add things to the menu or whatever. But it's just so interesting because like at that moment was when I realized I was like, dang, he didn't open up. He didn't. They didn't the old lady game, and he's about to do. He wants to do a Mexican restaurant. He basically said on this last episode he made the most money he ever made in his life from restaurants, and so he about to keep opening up restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I'm just like, a part of me
That's
did think,
really
is
cool
he using
because
her money to do that?
you think she's funding it?
I mean, he has to get her sign on because she is his wife. She has to be down with it. He can't. She asked him. She's like, "Why do you keep opening all these things?" And he told her that's the reason why. But if he doesn't make that much money, where's he getting all this money to open these restaurants? He
Let me
has to
tell
have her
you.
as a partner when he does it.
Let me just tell you what I thought of. He's on some Gabrielle Union right now. He's like, man, I gotta get out of here. I need to make sure I can pay 50-50. But you know what's crazy is that um I okay, let's go back to what you said about them always giving you like a weird vibe. It's
I'm gonna have
something about his facial expressions and the way, like, I was just actually over here. Let me share this one thing on my screen because I want to show you what
I
I'm
don't know
looking at.
whether he remind me of somebody, whatever. I don't. I just always be like,
If you, and it might just be his face, but whenever I see pictures of him, it's like he's not really actually smiling. It just looks like he's
showing his teeth.
yeah, like this one right here. It's just like, are you really in there? Or you know what I'm saying? Like it's I don't know what it is. And he might just be one of those people because some people don't really like, they're not smilers. He looks a lot
Yeah.
different than I remember him when he first
I
started.
mean, this situation definitely was a come up for him. Like, even though he had a job and he was a writer, like it was Candy Birds. You know what I'm saying?
And you remember
And
he was not okay with that prenup at first. Or the way it was presented to him.
right. But I mean, at the same time, right? Like, if they feeling each other, they've started several businesses, and you're right. She has the knack to make a deal because she be making deals. But that's why it's beneficial to him. I'm not saying he don't care about her, or whatever, but like, what is he doing? Like, he's opening up all these different restaurants, and it's just like, bro.
I think he's okay. Here's the thing. I want to advocate for Todd for a second because he's been called an opportunist, and perhaps he is, but I feel like he stuck with it. Like, let's just play that out. Let's just say he was like, "Oh, I'm about to come up. I'm dating Candy Burris, and she like me. I'm not fucking this up, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And then here comes Mama Joyce with her, bullhorn saying like, "Watch out," you know what I'm saying? Like, he's an opportunist, and other people said that about him too. So then that makes it worse when one person says something and another person says it, and then it's just like now you're like trying to defend yourself. So let's say he was an opportunist, and then he got that, and he was like, "I'm about to straighten up and show her that I'm not an opportunist." That actually, I don't, obviously I don't know them, and I do like them. Like they're likable. You know what I'm saying? But that perhaps that, like, let's just play along with this. Maybe that happened. It would make sense as to the just discomfort that I feel when I watch them sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but
it's something odd. Like, I don't
it's
really
something
see
odd.
them. It's just something odd.
But I don't know.
I
But
can't
okay,
put my finger on it.
So he's
Like, look
opening
at this.
all these
It's
restaurants.
something in the body language or something. I don't know. This shit
I
looks
don't
really
know
good in
what
this
it
dress.
is, but like I said, I can't put my finger on it. But I've been feeling like this since they ever first got together or whatever. But I mean, but I like them together, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a kid together. It's something weird. I'm not gonna go there. Okay. So back to this. Let me go.
Wait, what are the pictures I showed, or you were getting ready to say something else?
I'm gonna not say what I was about to say. So it's just something odd about their relationship to me, but that's neither here nor there. But so she's feeling some type of pressure in this relationship that's not going the way she wants it to go because she feels blamed by him for something, like that he's trying to find stuff wrong, but he's also not. He's spending a lot of time on his movie, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to do, and she was like walking around the house. Remember, she was walking around the house, and she see that clip, her walking around the house saying, I don't have the energy to do this today, or something like that.
But I saw her making a plate, but that was another episode, I think.
He was on the phone, and she was or he was on his computer, or whatever, and she's trying to get some time or whatever. So
she was like, "It's family time."
Yeah. So they're having those kinds of issues or whatever. I don't know, but the restaurant, I think it's called Blaze. There was a shooting there, and so it's hard. I would think to get. They're trying to revamp the menu and stuff, but I was thinking it's hard to try to get all of that like patronage back because it's a restaurant around here that something like that happened at. I've never been to it, and after I heard that somebody got shot in there, I'm not going there. You know what I'm saying? So they might as well scrap that one and change it into something else or go move somewhere. I don't know. That's just one consumer's opinion, but so that's where they're at with that. But even how they were talking in there, it's just like he needs her to sign on for it. She was like, "So I'm about to open up this other Mexican. You ready for me to open up the Mexican restaurant?" She was like, "No." You know what I'm saying? And she was like, "Why you keep opening up all these restaurants?" So they haven't, they bumping heads a little bit right now.
So if they're making the money that he is saying they're making, then why is she not, like on board, right? Like maybe, I don't know. It does seem a little odd. And it's like, if he needs her to sign off and it's not his investment, like solely, then it's kind of interesting.
I don't know that for sure, but I feel like he has to have her involved.
I don't know. Maybe that's his fascination with this script and stuff that he's doing, because a man does need his independence. And I feel like with all of the overshadowing of people calling him an opportunist, and it's like he can never be good enough. You know what I'm saying? Even their 6-year-old says she's too busy. Poor Riley been telling us this is true. Well,
that is true.
Again, let me just go back to the other statement that I made about a person operating outside of their femininity. But I don't think that's operating outside of your femininity making money. But I feel like there is the pressure to be like, I got to keep making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody's got to take care of all of us. And then you got people on payroll. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole different animal. It's not just like you're out there.
And let's talk about that real quick. What is the dude's name? Because I watched whatever the other show was where they did at the restaurant. Was it the Old Lady Gang show? I don't know what it was called, but it showed the inside of like how they, the people that worked at Old Lady Gang. What was the name of that show? No, what was the name of that show? I don't even know what the name of the show was, but it was a show that showed how like the people that worked for Old Lady Gang and how they were having issues. Maybe it was
I guess it's called the Old Lady Gang. It was an actual show on Bravo.
So
Candy in the Gang. That's what's called.
That's what it was. So that on that show, like you got to meet the people who were running the restaurant and stuff like that. And there's this one dude. I don't know. Shit, I'm supposed to know tonight because I cannot remember his name, but people that watch the show will know what I'm talking about. So this is one dude that nobody really liked. The last time I watched the Candy and the Gang show or whatever, he was like the business manager or like he was the manager of everybody at the restaurant. And he was a prick or whatever, or at least he came off like one. Nobody really liked him. Well, he comes on this episode I guess he works at this restaurant. At the Blaze. And so he comes in the restaurant. And so Candy and Todd are meeting with him and they hug. And that hug was the coldest hug I ever seen in my life. And I didn't realize it until she hugged her cousin when he came. It was just kind of like, okay, like it was just weird. But so they had a meeting at the restaurant to like go over new menu items or whatever. And so the producer comes out and is like, so y'all not going to talk about the elephant in the room? And they're like, what are you talking about? So they were talking about the shooting incident that happened or whatever. And my thought is, like I said, I feel like they should just go ahead and scrap that restaurant and just go ahead and open up another one because hot spots usually stay like that. I don't know. I could be
Like,
wrong.
here's the thing: her cousin got shot, and he was like a chef.
Yeah.
Here's my issue. Like, I get that they wanted and Todd ended up saying, "Oh, um there's a legal situation happening, so we can't speak on that." My thing is, you're on a show though, and for the producer to come out and say that, and they aired that was a little weird. Like, I don't know.
Like, who's this guy?
Some guy comes out and says, "Y'all aren't going to talk about this. Y'all are just going to ignore the elephant in the room, whatever." And I'm like, because I saw the clip.
I was like, what are they talking about?
But
and I was like, oh, that's why he's in the sling. But it's like
icky. Because I was looking at the cameraman, I was looking at the cousin's face, and he's sitting there with this thing, his arm in a sling, and I was looking at his face, and it looked like he was not.
But the way they set that scene up, it did make you think, what happened to him? Like, if you didn't know, I didn't know. I was sitting there thinking, what the fuck is his arm in a sling for? What happened? And the way she was like, you all right? How you doing? And, it just kind of seemed like, kind of weird. So, but it was wild when he came out.
It seemed so thick and weird. It's like, why are we here? And we're not going to talk about what happened. I don't know if they had talked about it beforehand, but it's just like, what's even the point of talking to you
here right now?
Right? Because it's like, if you need to go and like, it didn't look like he could be at work. Like, he didn't look like
Like, why did y'all have him meet y'all?
Why be here? At the, wherever they were. I don't know where they were, but like, why are we having a conversation if we're not going to talk about what happened?
Right.
That just seems so fake to me. And I'm like, what is actually happening? I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but it's one of those things that people do that when they don't realize that they're being fake, it's just normal to them.
And Todd said, I don't want to talk about it because it's legal. We can't talk about it. But then in the cutaway scene, Candy was like, somebody who used to work there came there. They got mad, and he got mad with the cousin, or he got aggressive with the cousin or something. I can't remember the word she used, but they go outside and the dude shot him. So she said anyway what happened. So it was just
why not talk about it? And then maybe she was cleared by her lawyers to have a conversation about it after the fact. But again, just don't film that scene. That was my issue.
Yeah.
Like, why are we even talking about this? It's just kind of like, like if you're talking to somebody and they had a black eye and you sitting there the whole time talking about their shirt, like, oh man, that's the fucking color red. Or whatever, and it's just like, what happened to your fucking eye, dog? Like, let's just not even
because I was thinking, what happened to him? What's his arm in the sling for?
Let's just not even do this today. You know what I'm saying? Let's find a better day and let's film somewhere else. Let's talk about something else because
they could have had a whole bunch of, but they had to test the menu, but he didn't have to be there because he wasn't working. So it was kind of odd or whatever.
It was like for show. I don't know, and And I do appreciate Candy, and I do like both of them, but there is something odd. There's something odd about them, and to find out
Candy, though, go ahead.
I don't know.
The thing about Candy, though, is I feel like once Candy has had enough of something, she pops off, right? And I feel like this band probably got a couple more times to bring her to this point because right now she is. Well, this is old. It's not filmed today, but she's feeling some type of pressure or whatever from him as it stands. But I guess that's what also contributed to her saying she was going to headbutt the girl, Courtney.
Yeah, that was wild.
It was crazy when Sandra approached. So Sandra approached Candy to find out if she was all right, and when she got over there. You know how you irritated with somebody and they come talk to you and you're like, okay, let me talk to this person. You know what I'm saying? So Sandra came over there and she's like, yeah, I was trying to see if you was all right. She gave her the blink like, bitch, what you think? You know what I'm saying? But she was like, let me read what I wrote down. She said, why would she be bobbing her head? Why would she be bouncing her head like that in my face? I went back and rewound that, y'all, and it was kind of like, the girl is kind of like it was really weird, but I was like, damn, they was about to really fight.
I can see how Candy was irritated in that scene
Yeah.
because she was bouncing was the perfect word. She was bouncing, and if you could have come to me with that energy, and so I think we talked about this on the last episode. I mean, you can't headbutt somebody if they're not within range. And
Yeah.
so that's part of the whole setup and irritation right there is why are you so close to my head? Do you know I could reach out and headbutt you right now because
But
you're
it
in
was
my
funny.
space?
It was funny when she said, why would she think she could come over? But she thinks that Sandra should have told her, like giving her heads up about how the girl felt because she was caught off guard and she didn't know that that girl was going to come at her like that or whatever.
So what do you think? Do you think Sandra should have given her a heads up? Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. And it's so here's what I would think. I don't know the whole ins and outs. Maybe she did know she was going to do something. But it's like I don't want to be the one to preemptively like, oh, they're going to set you up. Da, da, da. It's
yeah,
like,
you don't want to bring no information when somebody was like, oh, it's not that serious. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess it
you
depends
really
on
don't know what
how
somebody's
her,
going to do anyway.
but okay, so it depends on how close her and Candy are, because if she did something where she feels like I looked out for you, then she might have expected her to do that because in later on in the episode it looked like they had went Candy did a Disney trip and she told everybody else about it, but nobody else responded but Sandra, and they all went and traveled as families, right? So she might have felt like they was close enough for her to be like, hey, this girl said this. Be on, just she might say something at the party. I don't know. Like, that's a hard situation to be in because, like you said, like you don't want to jump the gun and preemptively.
And now you're just the person that imagine the person because a lot of people talk shit. And then they be like, "Oh, talk about I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go up and talk to. I'm gonna go and tell her this." And then they don't do nothing. And they get there and they be like, "Hey, Candy, I like your dress." So you don't want to be the person that's like, "Oh, so and so said they was gonna fight you," and now that energy is met with a different energy. So I don't know if I would have said anything either. But I mean, if I was close to the person, sure. Like, hey, watch out for that one. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because we also don't know how close her and that girl are. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and I will venture to say that there are not a lot of close relationships because we see season to season people who were cool with each other one season, next season they done fell out and they're telling all of their business. So it's like one duo that seems to be pretty solid is Candy and Kenya. And that's really interesting because I remember Kenya used to be like the villain. You know what I'm saying? But now Kenya is kind of like one of the sensible ones. Well, from what I see, I don't really know because honestly, just to be completely transparent, I used to be faithfully watching this show, and then somewhere along the line, I just stopped watching. I don't know. I think it was like maybe when Portia.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while either.
It was probably a couple of seasons after Nene left.
Yeah,
it was like Nene left, and honestly, I remember the season that Nene left. I was like, because she was talking all this trash about they can't carry that show without me, and they did quite well. And I remember that season because I was like, yeah, they did actually, and I was interested in everything. And I think I don't know if that was the season like that Phaedra said all that stuff about Candy. I think when I stopped watching, it had to be that season where Farrah and like it was maybe like the season after Drew Sidora came on. Like
I haven't faithfully watched since then either.
I haven't faithfully watched. It's been at least a couple seasons. Like I have to go back and even look because like Marlo's now on the front line. And
Marlo's now there.
Which is odd. What do you think about Marlo?
She looks so much better without a whole bunch of makeup on to me. I really enjoyed the fresh faced Marlo when they show her. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about her. She's trying to do her thing. She actually made a comment this episode about how she was the sensible one, the only sensible one at the party that day because everybody, stuff with people was popping off with each other and stuff like that because Kenya got into it with Marcejo and kind of Sheree. So.
Oh man, Marlo looks so much better without makeup. Why though? Makeup is supposed to make you look better.
Yeah, I think she looks so much better.
You know what? I also felt that way about Kim Zolciak. Like she put all that makeup on and it made her look like 10 years older. But without makeup, she looked so much better. And she would wear all those wigs and stuff. And it's just like, Kim, why you got that plastic wig on? Take that wig off.
Oh my gosh.
Take that wig off before it melts. But anyway, uh, it is funny how people look better without makeup. But I mean, it's cool.
So
It's cool too.
yeah, so the other thing that I have made a point about was, or I just wrote down, was Drew and Ralph, because I think they
Mm.
decided to split in March, but on the show that's airing now, they're still together right now, and it's just like, damn, that shit's fake, because you know what I'm saying, they ended up breaking up, but
And he had the nerve to be like, "Oh, she's not coming. She had a family emergency." Like, y'all are married. That's your family too. Even if it is her father or whatever, it's just like,
I
what?
know he
Now,
should have
let me
still been
just
like
tell you
there for
this.
her or whatever.
Let me just say this about them. I remember when he went to Miami or something for like she thought he went out to the store or something. And she's calling him like, "Where are you? Where are you?" And he didn't answer for like 3 days. Meanwhile, he done took a trip down to Florida. That screams cheating. I mean,
That's
I can't
cold
prove it.
as hell.
That
Okay,
I
that's
can't prove it, but that means I know that's old, right? But
yeah, but
it
like, why wouldn't you just be a grown ass man and be like, I'm about to go to Miami or whatever? Like,
or I won't. I'm leaving. I'll be back. Or
yeah, that's
don't say
crazy.
nothing. I don't know how they operate, but to me, it was just like that was like so disrespectful. It was
Mm.
like, dog. Like, of course you could do whatever you want to do, but the fact that you lie, that you keeping it from me, and I thought you went out to the store, and I was
Like
expecting
nobody was gonna. That's crazy.
and
That's
you went
crazy.
all the Florida and he talking about to clear my mind. And maybe he did, but the idea that you kept it from her is just like,
That's wild.
I
Yeah.
knew.
So
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 anyway, I'd hoped that
so
they
so
were going to
on the
make it.
season, we're gonna have to watch them together, like they're doing family stuff together or whatever. I forgot to mention that Kenya is dating the CEO of Kill Me Crazy, which is I think it's a popular restaurant in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. It might be other places too, but so that's who she's dating now. I'm not sure if they're still together or not, because you know when they film these things, it's like um months ago and stuff could have changed. So
Yeah, you never know. And okay, so this is what I want to say about Sheree and Martell
oh
because they give me the heebie-jeebies. Also,
yes,
I don't know
absolutely,
what
that is the
it is.
perfect word for it. The
So she
heebie jeebies.
had
It's like
we had this
yes.
whole scene. Okay, he shows up at her house with this white suit on, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? He's like one of those people who wear all his new clothes the first day of school. It's just like I got on my new shoes and my new, shirt and my new sweater, and my new jacket and my new book bag. It's just like save some of that. He came to the door. He wanted to be seen. He came from whatever, like a photo shoot, or whatever. He's like, I can't waste this suit. He didn't say that. I'm just saying it out loud. That's what I feel like he was thinking.
I
And
was
then
wondering why he still had it on,
and
but
then
whatever.
he goes up there and he disrobes. And my thinking is like, how awkward is that? She's downstairs. I don't think she was talking about it. She said it in the confessional, but she's downstairs. He's upstairs disrobing with a camera. I just thought that was odd. Just the thought of it.
See,
Because
that's one of the things.
it
That's
was,
one.
it was so abnormal. Like I've
Listen,
never
that
seen
is
that happen
that's
before.
something that we don't keep in mind while we're watching these shows sometimes. Like you're watching the show and oftentimes it's really easy to forget that there's a whole camera crew or at least a person with a camera in front of this person while they're doing whatever they're doing. So like, you know, that is weird. You know what I'm saying?
Up there thirst trapping on Bravo. And then gonna come downstairs and talk about, oh, I thought we was gonna have a
Oh my
threesome. It's
god.
like you're on TV. Hello?
But see, I think that was him reaching too hard.
Yes.
I think that was him trying too hard on that. But like, so okay, so the whole thing that happened with them at that was so Kenya pulled her aside and told her that I think Candy's assistant or somebody Candy works with found some information on Martell. He's supposed to be dating somebody in Atlanta. They confront him about it. He says no, that person never was or whatever. And then it comes up that Kenya, he DM'd Kenya and she said that it was at least 6 months ago. And he denied it at first. And then he came back and was like, when somebody said, oh, he denying it, pull out the text or pull out he ran over there and was like, oh, I did DM you, but you didn't respond. And it was something like, I appreciate you mentioning me on such and such, right? But the thing is, she never, you got to accept the person to like, you get the message and you accept it, but she hadn't accepted him. So it was like, you could have deleted whatever it was that you sent, and she would have not had control over that. You know what I'm saying? But then at the end, I think she was saying, well, that was the opening, him trying to open me up for conversation or whatever. But so that whole thing happened. But then, I mean, when they talked about it, it didn't seem like real. I don't know. That's
It
just the
just
feeling I
seems
got.
so dry of a couple. I just don't see, like, I think both of them are very attractive people. You know what I'm saying? As far as Sheree, I think she's very attractive. Marcel, I mean, I don't think he's unattractive, but I never looked at him like, oh,
He's not somebody I would ever look at. It's
I mean,
something
listen,
about
I
him that
get
just
it.
makes me be like, he's not bad looking,
Of
but
course.
it's not
I
my cup
get
of
it. He
tea.
has a nice body. And I can see him and Melody, which we're about to get to, Ellen. I can see why him and Melody got together, especially when they were younger and they got together and they had a family and all that stuff. I can see the attraction, but like knowing who he is now and how he had that whole affair that was so sloppily jalopy out in public that he couldn't even contain it. It was like he tried to lie it away and it didn't work.
Which is why this episode, when he was talking about, they got in the car, him and Sheree, he was like, I can't believe they would treat me like that. I'm just meeting them. And I'm like, yeah, but nigga, you lie. So like,
right. Like, we not believing
your word
you.
for this.
And listen, I'm glad that they were able to like make amends, which we can get into because I did see the clips. I didn't see the actual episode, but I did see the clips of him trying to get into his daughter's party. I think it was at like a bowling alley or a skating rink or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, basically like, I paid for this. You have your time with him. I mean, you have your time with the kids and I have my time with the kids. And I'm throwing her this party and I didn't invite her. I invited you earlier and you didn't want to come. But it's unfortunate when parents have like beef with each other like that and the kid has to be like without one of the parents. I'm not saying that was the case, but just in general, I do find it unfortunate because kids,
it's not their fault.
Kids can feel it and they don't care really what daddy did or what mommy did. They just love it when their parents are.
Yeah, and it's not their fault. So it's like
around. So yeah, it's neither here nor there. But yeah, Ellen, I did hear, if that's what you're talking about, I did hear about that drama. She said this lady, oh wait, let me put this on here. This lady who did Ariana's hair, who was on the last episode as Tisha's guest, said Ariana told her Martell wanted Ariana to post a video of a male giving him head via a fake account. Oh my gosh.
Okay,
like,
all right, let me say this.
The video?
That's what I'm saying. Martell to me, like, just my everyday, just Demeter walking around. If I was in a restaurant, in an event or whatever, and Martell walked in, I would not even, like, even if, like, not knowing who he was, I would just be like, okay. Because something about him just gives off shit like that. Like, I wouldn't put past him that he would try to get her dumb ass to do something like that. But did he also say on there that because I've read this, I didn't hear it myself, that so Sheree is introducing him as them being together, but on Love and Marriage Huntsville, I heard he said that she was just a friend. So I don't know. Like, I looked up today to try to see if they still together. They supposed to be still playing like they're together, I guess, but
they're playing like they're together.
It just don't stick. It just don't.
It could have been two different times. Look, given the benefit of the doubt, could have been two different times that each show was shot.
Did an IG live showing the messages. Ariane did an IG live.
Oh my god, that's
wild. Wait, hold on. The lady who did Ariane's hair said she did the live. Okay, all right. I was about to say. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I gotta catch back up on that. They're also doing a Love and Marriage Detroit, which I kind of was like, do we want this? Okay, let's see. So, I don't know. We got to catch up on our.
I guess I gotta watch it. Shout out to Detroit. Detroit has birthed us some of the most gifted artists as far as musically. Detroit has built millions of cars for us, and I love those fruits that were produced from Detroit. But I have to say, it is not the prettiest place to be. When I went to Detroit, I was like, the buildings look like they're dying of thirst.
But they don't have other areas because, like, these people they don't look dirty, but
I mean, no, the people are fine. Like I said, like there's so many. I mean, like I couldn't even start to name all of the artists that came out of Detroit. And Detroit don't play. You won't find me in a fight with nobody from Detroit.
Well, I
But
mean, but they always Detroit be like, "What up, though?" But the thing about it is the Love and Marriage franchise. Okay, you got Huntsville with that whole crew. Then you got Love and Marriage DC. Now this Love and Marriage Detroit come in. Are they going to be able to hang with Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage DC? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? What up, though,
yeah.
Detroit? What up? Anyway, I had to do that.
Well, look, I would love to see something because I haven't seen. I can't really say. Now they might have some reality shows out there, but I haven't really heard of any of them.
In Detroit, that have been in Detroit.
Yeah, like
but I thought it started in June. Oh, also the one Kirk Franklin thing. I think it either came on tonight. It came on tonight, or it already came on another day. But I think it came on tonight. It's on TV1. I'm about to watch that when we get off here.
What is that now?
Kirk Franklin and his wife are doing a show called The One, where they're supposed to help people find love. But I think they're helping. It's a low number of people. Maybe it's a couple, or I don't know. Maybe it's a couple people. I don't know. It's a low number though. It's not like 20 people or nothing like that, from what I remember. But there's a guy that used to be on, there was a guy that was on a previous season of Ready to Love that's also on this show that Kirk Franklin is doing. I think it premiered tonight. Today's the 18th. Yeah, I think it premiered tonight. It either premiered tonight or whatever the 15th was. But I have to catch up on Couples Retreat and stuff like that because I wasn't able to do that this week at all. But we'll have to talk about that next week. We'll have to talk
about that next week. And I'll have to watch the rest of the Real Housewives and really get into. Listen,
yes, and we got to talk about Summer. We got to watch Summer House so we can talk about that.
Yes. Okay. So Ella says, yeah, last season Marcel was trying to get back with Mel. Yeah, I felt like that too. And then Carson is the lady. There are videos on
YouTube. Because he probably feels so stupid now. Like,
I mean, like, come on, y'all.
What a retard.
He's weird. Like, what is he even doing? Like, he won't be able to work with what is he even doing these days?
Somebody said he looked like a Ninja Turtle. I was like, he do.
Listen, I'm not trying to hate on this man. I know he has kids and stuff. But like, what is he doing? What is he going to be known for? Like, wasn't he in the real estate? What is he doing?
Lying. You know what I'm saying? He's not bad looking, but he does tell lies. And so, whatever. I mean, it's not, But yeah, they were all in the...
Look, from season 1 of Love and Marriage Huntsville, he was a little sketch. He was always like, he was, I was going to say allegedly, but he was cheating. He had already cheated previous to the show. Then he was cheating probably during the taping of the show. Then he cheated later and actually had a baby out of wedlock and had a whole nother family, like, which was wild because, we won't say we all, but we kind of tend to look at the woman in the situation as the idiot or as the person who, how did she let this happen? How did she let this happen to her? Like, she's a single woman, but I mean, it's really, it's a two-way street. And he really was the offender there because he had a whole wife and family. She just had herself, but I'm not saying
lying like I don't know what the whole time. I'm like, bro.
But I mean, like we all kind of looked at her. Even I did. I'm not gonna lie. I looked at her like, "What are you doing, young girl? Like you're out here fighting for something that's not worth it. Like you're out here like talking like you're gonna get him or something, or like he's some prize, or like, oh well, he said this to me and he said that to me. Like, don't admit that on, you know what I'm saying? Don't say that out loud. You sound crazy right now. Go somewhere and forget that ever happened, or at least act like you got some sense and don't tell anybody what happened. That's to sound like some stuff you keep to yourself. But no judgment, because sometimes it takes the truth to heal. So shout out to that. Won't even remember your name.
Oh my gosh.
But much respect to these people. I'm just saying that I don't remember her name. And I remember how crazy she looked though, getting interviewed by people talking about, we had a baby, he left me and he was going back home to her. And I knew that it's like,
yeah, it's like that's the kind of situation where you don't realize how you're making yourself look.
Sound crazy. You sound crazy. I'm sure she looks back on that now like, why did I say anything? You
Maybe
know what I'm
not
saying?
though.
Or maybe
Maybe
not.
not.
Maybe she got something out of that. Maybe she got paid, or maybe she, created something for herself. But I don't know. That's one of those things that's like. Anyway, I'm not trying to judge the lady, but yeah. So anyway, next week we're
Nah,
definitely
he's just thick though.
we're gonna hit on the Real Housewives of Atlanta once again. I am enjoying this. I do remember why I used to watch it.
Yeah.
I gotta get back warmed up to like the way that they do things. And it's like sometimes I be feeling like stuff is like staged, and it's like I get that like they make the most of their money. So not most of their money, but they get a lot of footage when they have everybody together. So when you have a show and they're all going on a trip or there's some big event, like that's where they get the most footage as the show.
Right.
So they like to put people on trips and they like to follow them around when they're at events.
Now at this party, there were a lot of things going on at this party, and they did get lots of footage. And but talking about the reality part, like for me, the reality part is you still never know how somebody's feeling that day and how they're going to react to whatever y'all got set up. So that's where the reality comes in for me. It's not that they, of course they knew they all would be meeting here because the cameras are here, right? But you don't know how somebody's feeling that day. And when I watched Candy's reaction to the whole Courtney little bobblehead thing, I feel like that was a real Candy reaction.
Oh, for sure.
She was like,
yeah, she had to calm down a little bit because I don't think she expected that, and she got caught off guard. You never know what somebody went through in their day or in their week either, because that's not a typical reaction from her. Normally she'd be chilling, but I feel like it just caught her off guard, and whatever she was going through just got the best of her, and she just had to say what she felt. But Ellen, we're gonna watch Couples Retreat, and we're gonna watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I'm gonna watch
Kirk Franklin's The One.
I'm gonna
watch Summer House. Okay, I'm gonna watch Couples Retreat. I'm gonna watch Summer House, and I'm gonna watch Kirk Franklin's The One, along with the rest of the shit that we're watching.
All right. Well, I'm into it. I'm gonna watch whatever I'm gonna watch, and then whatever we feel is like the most relevant, we're gonna come back and talk about. And then whatever craziness happens this next week, guys, we're here for it.
Because something crazy happens.
Something crazy happens every week.
Every week.
Bama of the week.
Funny, yes.
Already, there's always somebody out here that's doing something wild that we just have to comment on. So keep it coming.
Yes, but look, we need to end this because your girl got to eat. I'm starving right now.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
No, it's not your fault. Look, we was in a good conversation. We talked about a little bit of everything tonight. We hit on all the shows. We will, like she said, we'll go over more Real Housewives of Atlanta next week. We're going to touch on a couple of other shows and whatever happens next week. But we appreciate you guys for, sticking it out with us. Make sure you subscribe to our other social media in the description. If you are a woman over 40 and you need to be motivated to work out, or you need to, you want somebody to relate to, because, shit's changing. Make sure you follow my By Demeter Joe channel. That's my workout channel. I'm going to be doing mindset stuff over there and just kind of try to keep us, in a positive, light and on a road so we can feel our best selves, no matter what you think. But anyway.
I love it. I'll be over there following because I'm the woman over 40 that you're looking for. But anyway, I hear what you're saying.
New habits, and we're going to look at ourselves in a better light.
Ellen, I did hear about this drama between Spice and Erica Minute, but if it's time, we'll talk about it next week because that was wild too. All right, y'all. Well, it was great hanging out, and I just always enjoyed talking to you guys and my wonderful sister. So I can't wait to see what happens next week that we're talking about.
Yeah, me either. All right, guys. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace, everybody. Peace.